Okay, well, here we go. It's all ready to go here. So, what we've got here is... What we've got here is a situation. No, what we've got here is... this could be the final episode of this, or maybe the second to last. I'm not sure, depending on how far I make it. I think now I have not completed the game yet. Still, I think on my blind playthrough I've gotten right to the end. I think. I don't know for absolute sure. I'm just guessing. Just sort of gives the telltale signs of closing in on the finish of Dark Souls. Well, for one thing, I have no idea where to go. I think I just have to... And I got a different message at the bonfire. Yeah, it said kneel at the bonfire. I didn't actually go through with it because I was kind of... wasn't sure about my... that's my first... my blind playthrough's my first character, obviously. And I'm not sure what... I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do with that character. I wasn't sure if there was more stuff that I wanted to get. Because I'm obvious... Well, I think I'm missing some stuff still. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to leave it right at the end and try to get some stuff, or what I wanted to do. So I just left it for now. But this character, I think I'll just go through right to the end. But I'm still missing some trophies. Now some are... I think I know what they are, and some I'm not sure. I think I'm missing 3... I think it's 3 down lower trophies. There doesn't seem to be one for... I don't think there's one for another Covenant, which is weird because I don't have a Dragon Bro Covenant. But I do have the... Unless maybe like Mound Makers is Dragon Bro or something, I don't know. Okay, Dark Moon's not Dragon Bro. Blue Sentinels, none of those are Dragon Bro. Rosaria's Fingers. I mean, could that be Dragon? I don't think so, but I don't... Watchdogs of Farron. That doesn't seem to be Dragon Bro. That seems more like a Forest Bro. And Aldrich, that's like... that seems like Belfry. Mound Makers, I don't know what to compare that to. And Rosaria's Fingers, that just seems like regular Dark Wraith type. But I do have the Dragon Torso or whatever. So I'm not sure what is going on with that. But anyway, I don't think I'm missing any Covenants. Now, there has been some things I've heard. I've tried to stay blind, but... I mean, I haven't lived in a cave either. And some things I've heard have been, well, one thing, I heard there's 3 endings. I mean, I would probably have to... I don't know, I may have had to spoil myself on that, because... I don't know how I would know there's 3 endings other than just playing through over and over. Although the eyes seem to be... I might have been able to get it, because I'm guessing you give the eyes to her, answer one way is one ending, answer the other way is another ending, and then maybe don't give her the eyes for the 3rd ending. That's what I'm guessing. But anyway, yeah, there's 3 slots up the top. I'm guessing those are for all 3 endings. Then I'm missing 3 below that. Now, I also think... Another thing I've heard is... There's a boss called Nameless King. Now, I don't think... And I think I heard... Unfortunately, I just heard recently that it's not mandatory. So I haven't fought any boss called Nameless King. There was Osiris, the Consumed King. Now that could be it, but I don't think so, because I heard people saying that Nameless King was really hard, and Osiris, or whatever his name is, I'm just gonna call him Osiris. Osiris, he wasn't that hard. Definitely not hard enough where it would make this huge impact on people to say he's super hard. So, like, I thought maybe that could be the Nameless King also, because there is, from Dark Souls 2, there's, Rame and Fume Knight are the same boss. So some people call him Rame, some people call him Fume Knight. So I thought, oh, maybe he's Consumed King and Nameless King. There's two names, but just judging by the difficulty, he didn't seem so difficult that it would have people talking about the extreme difficulty, so I don't think that was him. So I think that's one of the trophies I'm missing. The two others, I don't know what they are. It's possible maybe you get... I don't remember how they do the trophies. Maybe you get one for completing the game separate from the endings. Like maybe there's 3 trophies for the endings, and then there's a separate one for completing the game. So that would take care of another trophy. I don't know what the... There could be... I could also be missing some sort of trophy or two for completing some objective. Like in Dark Souls 2 there was trophies for getting like what's his name's set? Benhart. If you get Benhart's set of stuff, I think you get a trophy. And do you get one for Lucatiel too, or something like that? There could be like a couple of trophies like that I'm missing. And then the other trophies I'm missing are all stuff that explained what you need to do, like Mastery of Sorcery and Mastery of Pyromancy, the magic ones, and rings. I need to get all the rings and all the gestures. I think I'm pretty close on the gestures. And speaking of gestures, one last thing I was going to get into is that's another thing I heard. I heard something about you have to gesture to something. Something about gesturing to something. I thought I heard that it was like a thing you probably wouldn't figure out on your own, or something like that. Or maybe a new player wouldn't figure out on their own or something. I can't remember. It's something about doing a gesture. Now what I'm thinking now is maybe you got a gesture somewhere to open up the path to get to the Nameless King. And right before the final boss, or just a bit before the final boss, there's this trophy statue that seems to be praying, and it has this light shining on it. I'll admit I often attribute these things with light shining on them to be more important than they actually are. I know in Road of Sacrifices there's light shining on these trees, and I thought, oh, this must be something. Why is this light shining on it? But it didn't end up meaning anything. But I'm wondering if this statue has something to do with that. The problem is, there was an item you get in Bloodborne for doing a gesture, but you have to hold it for a long time. Although that gesture was unique in that way. Make contact or something? Well, I mean, it's kind of stupid because, like, it's hard enough trying to figure out some random thing you gotta do a gesture to will give you something, but then it has to be some long-held gesture. So I don't know. There's also something in the top. Yeah, so anyway, I guess I'll move on now. Or wait, I'll level up first. Wait, what level is my weapon at? 9, yeah.
Welcome home. Very well then.
What do I got here? 32, 12, 13. It goes up 5. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. Not quite enough. Okay, so let's get the show on the road. Grand Archives. Well, we got the... Sometimes it's... Oops, I had to take a drink. Sometimes this name of this playthrough is so perfect. Because Grand Archives, do we got retreads. Retread City. I have to say, I don't know, I'm just gonna... I guess I'll be going over it over and over, but the bottom line is, like, this Grand Archives, on its own, if this was, like, the first time I'd ever played a Souls game, or something like that, then this area would definitely be more appealing. But as it is, first of all, Grand Archives, obviously retread of Duke's Archives. Although, I mean, it does look... It doesn't, like, look exactly... It's not like a Norlondo or something, where it's just this pathetic nostalgia, like, attempt at nostalgia, but, so, I mean, at least it's different. But it is the Grand Archives, first of all. Second of all, it reminds me a lot of the research hall of Bloodborne, which wouldn't be so bad, except that's the exact last thing that was released before this game, was the Bloodborne DLC. So you have this thing that is reminiscent of the exact last thing they released. So I'm not, well, Bloodborne related thing, I'm not sure if they released some, like, weird, or some little, I don't know if they released, like, iOS games or anything like that. I don't really follow that part of it. But, as far as, like, these types of games. And then last of all, oh, the enemy, it just brought back a bunch of old enemies? Like, the whole level is just basically old enemies? Like, I mean, I understand that, like, you're not gonna, they do reuse enemies for areas, but, it's brought, like, the whole, I guess not the whole layer, there is some new enemies, but I don't mind the new enemies in some ways, but, or the new, is it just one? The wax head guy, I'll get into that, but a lot of the other enemies they brought back, like those, Thrall, I don't know if they're called Thrall, they dropped the Thrall hood. Those, and they didn't remind me of it until I got to Duke's Archives, and then I thought, boy, these guys sure remind me of those crystal enemies from Dark Souls 1. They're not the same, but they do definitely, especially when they put them in Duke's Archives, they definitely remind me of them. And then they got the stupid harpy things. Oh my goodness, I hate those things. They do have some Lothric soldiers, or knights, which I like, but I don't know, the enemies... I'm not really impressed with the enemies. Especially when it's getting into retread stuff, too. Retread of this own game, and then retread of the feeling of Duke's Archive. Like, the harpies already... Or I don't know what they are, crow enemies, but they remind me of the harpies from Dark Souls 1 in the Painted World. Where, like, they sort of got these weird attacks where once they engage the attack, you're sort of toasted. Like, you can't get away from them very easy, or at all. And that reminds me of the harpies when they would jump on your head. Like, once they jumped on your head, you're toast. But,